and welcome to Add More Zest. And my name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I'm back working on I Choose You. Now, we did the first section of black on last week's WIP Chats, I think. I've only had one evening to do some more of this black. I was kind of hoping that I would have got most of the black done by the time it was time for another WIP Chat. However, I was so close to finishing my Dreamers designs that it took over. It took over until it was finished, and I'm happy to say that it is finished. I have done my Dreamers designs. I nearly decided to do the mystery painting for the WIP Chat today, because I also kind of want to get that done before I start up the December Advent, and get a fresh one kitted up in November, ideally. And I might focus a little bit of my time on that, or mix it up between the two in the upcoming week. Maybe do a little bit of the mystery one night and a little bit of this the next night, and see if I can get it done by the end of November, so that I can de-kit and kit up. That would sort of fill up my video schedule quite nicely to do that, but we shall see if I get the chance to do that or not. But yeah, I've decided to work on some more of this because I am loving working on this. I say I did only get to do some last night, but I'm loving it, and it's the November event, so I kind of feel like it is suitable to do this. So I'm just going to fill in this last section that I didn't get to do in the evening before I uncover my next batch of black. But it gives me a chance to chat to you all, and you guys can all diamond paint along as well. There will be a little bit of variety when I fill some gaps, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm using the tray launch for November. Okay, that diamond's not going to, oh, that's why. There's actually a little nub on this one. It's very, very hard to tell sometimes with black, and you do get a little bit of a, there is the odd one with a little bit of a nick on the side. I'm not sure if you can see that. You'd probably have to zoom in quite close, but there's a little bit sticking out on the side of that one, which is what's stopping the next one from sitting in nicely. It doesn't help that I'm using a dark tray, but I wanted to use one of the new limited edition for November. I used the red one last time. I wanted to use the green one this time, but I am filming this before launch, so my apologies if this has already sold out. But yeah, I'm filming this a little bit early. I'm actually filming this on Friday, which is not normal for me. I normally film the WIP Chat on a Saturday or a Sunday. However, I'm distracting myself because Luna is getting spayed today. And yeah, I'm distracting myself by filming while I have no pup in the house. And what better way to do it than diamond paint while filming, all at the same time. It also will free me up while it is still launch weekend. It will give me a chunk of time, or quite a bit of time, to be able to just sit with her and snuggle. She loves a good snuggle. Quite often she does wander around the conservatory, not quite settling if I've not sat down at some point in the day, just so that she can sit on the couch next to me and snuggle. So I reckon we'll be having quite a few snuggles this weekend, in the midst of you know, when she gets bored of snuggling me, I can then be getting shop launch orders out. But yeah, bless her little cotton socks. So yeah, I'm just going to distract myself with this, working my way through the 310, of which I've gone through a couple of my extra pots already. And then I have the odd random H symbol mixed in with this little block, just to keep me on my toes. But yeah, comments and questions. Let's get into some of those and see how long I can distract myself with this WIP and Chat. Cat Lady, she says she's working on her Purple November painting too. She's just started her second row. So yeah, the November event that Diamond Art Studio is doing is just to have done some. You don't have to have completed it, which is good, because I don't seem to be finding the time to get loads of it done. But I am getting a good chunk of the way into it, which is good. I did wonder about kitting up another large painting when I de-kit Dreamer's Designs, but I thought that might be a bit too much for me, depending on how far I've got on this, to have another large diamond painting kitted up. So I think that will be saved for a January, but I might try and get my mystery kit done and kit up another 30 by 40 instead. We'll see if time allows. But yeah, she split her canvas into 4 rows to do over 4 weeks. Lots of 3747. Oh, so you're going to try and get it done in the month of November? I think I'm just going to realise that this is not necessarily going to get done in November. Though hopefully I can get a good chunk of the way down. You never know. I might get a few decent evening sessions to do some diamond painting. Let me just get some more diamonds on that side of my tray before I think about turning it around. Darcy says, she says you can just run the mat under warm water to clean it. Shake it out until it's dry and it stays sticky after cleaning. Yes, thank you. I did do that. This did get a wash the other day and it is super sticky. I just gave it a rinse off in the sink, and as you said, I just let it dry. And yeah, it's worked amazing. It's got rid of all the fluff that it had managed to pick up, all the dust that it managed to pick up, because I did leave it sat out on top of a diamond painting without actually doing it for probably far too long. But it holds my little trashy tray perfectly now, which is especially good when working on 310. I must say there is not many of these diamonds that I find have those nubs on. I'm not finding them all the time, but there is some. So it's nice to be able to just ditch them as and when I need to. Jess Diamond Paints said happy birthday to Megan, hope she had a fabulous day. She did. She's 26 now. She didn't feel like it was, you know, I think that's when she classed it as I'm older now. Birthdays aren't quite the same, though she was working as well, so it is term time, so she was in work. Maybe that made a difference. But yeah, she did a few bits, and we got Nando's. We ended up getting takeaway, but she loves a Nando's. I think that's pretty much the time that we have Nando's every single year is Megan's birthday. She has it more, but as a family, we always have it on her birthday. Sometimes go into the restaurant, sometimes takeaway. Anne Smith says it was a great chat. Thank you, Anne. And Jeanette, she says, thank you so much for the advice on her second square painting. She says she's also received her Advent painting She's looking forward to kitting it up with me, and she's received an email about the 12 days of Christmas, so she had to buy one. Well, I'm glad you got one while you could, Jeanette. They have now all gone. The 12-day Advent and the Advent diamond paintings have now all sold out. All pre-orders went first and all remaining stock went on the site. But we did just email those on the wait list. But yeah, they have all gone now. So the conservatory is a little bit clearer without that many diamond paintings. And now I can get excited about the fact of kitting it up. So kitting it up will be next weekend, the 19th of November. Hopefully everybody's will have arrived. If not, they will be there shortly afterwards, depending on when you bought it. But yeah, I'm really excited to kit it up now. I will be doing the round one. That is, while I do love squares and I often favour squares in big paintings, round is quicker to do. And because I am doing a WIP and chat on it every day throughout December, I find that because I'm doing a 40 by 40 as well instead of a 30 by 40 than I normally do. So I didn't want to increase the time by doing squares as well, though I do have a square one. So maybe I'll be doing both, one on camera, one off camera, or maybe I'll save that one for another year. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm not too sure. That makes me think, do I kit up, rather than kitting up a 30 by 40, do I kit up my second Advent, or is that pushing it? Who knows? I'll mull that over in my brain. Cross Stitch and Tap said happy birthday to Megan. She said no grandchildren or heaven and earth designs this week. She says due to the whole house of 6 getting COVID. Oh no. The odd times that some of us have had it and not all of us have. It does tend to have been different times, or at least different severities. We've not all had it all at once. She said her niece brought it home from school and nicely shared it with everybody. These things do happen, I suppose. She said hubby and I have been hit the hardest due to being high risk. Yeah, it can knock you for 6 a bit. I think the most frustrating thing I found with COVID, because it did knock me for 6, was how long it fully took to feel up to full strength. It seemed to take a long time for me to feel like myself again. And that was the hardest part, because I didn't have any symptoms as such to make me, you know, particularly ill. But so I had the symptoms to make me ill first, but once those symptoms are gone, it was actually the exhaustion and the not feeling myself that was the hardest part. But it did dissipate. It just took quite a while, unfortunately, to vamoose, as they say. Cassara. Sorry, let me get the name right. Actually read it right would be helpful. She said she started today with multi-placers. She said, but the glue dots didn't go too well for her. She put wax in her 4-placer and she found that worked better. She says, but practice makes perfection. Yes, I do need to practice a multi-placing more. I do have the odd multi-placer on a pen, like I have a 2-placer on this one, sort of a build up. I didn't actually practice it when I did the section last night, but I might try and practice with some of my future ones, multi-placing with squares, but I do feel like I need to practice that off camera rather than on. I think I will do a lot better for myself if I practice it off camera. Do myself a favour and not try and read and chat and multi-place all at the same time. All Things Crafty by Kaz. She said the custom diamond painting of her dad, her with her dad, sorry, is extremely confetti heavy at the top where she started, and the bottom, she says, looks quite blocky. Yeah, well, this it's rather weird for me actually starting this painting at the top. I'm not sure whether I like starting at the top or not. Quite often when I do decide, you know, which end to start a diamond painting, I will often, even if I am starting near the top, I will often still turn it upside down when I do it and work from the bottom, albeit upside down, and I often find that's a lot easier. There are benefits to starting at the top. I do like the way that what I'm leaning on my easel is not diamond painted. So I'm not dealing with diamonds I've already placed. I quite like that. And I quite like working near the top of the easel. I find when I'm sat in the conservatory, I actually put it up a rung or two, and it can be a little bit nicer, a little bit easier on my back. But I still find it rather weird, and I think that's just because I'm quite often working at the bottom of my easel, not at the top of my easel. So to work at the top of it is a little bit confusing for my brain. But we're getting there. It's working. It's working out. Susan, she said, another fabulous WIP and Waffle for me to enjoy. She says, even though she did kit up the Advent diamond painting immediately upon its arrival, she said it is sitting quietly waiting for December the 1st. Oh, so you got that little excitement drive out of your system. She says it taunts her every day that she comes into diamond paint with the one that she's working on, but she's holding strong. She said she loves the new colours of the November trays so much. She said she didn't buy the red and green trays last November because they weren't her favourite hue of the colours. She says, but the new ones are, and she hopes she gets them. She says, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, it's amazing how the likeness for a colour, you know, or the desire for a colour can just be down to the shade of the colour as well. I completely agree with you in relation to that. There is a favourite hue, I suppose, compared to another. It's like when it comes to painting a wall, isn't it? It's amazing how that slight difference can make a huge difference to how you feel about a room. Jackie, she said she bought some really cheap metal rulers from Amazon, which she sticks onto the overflow of a painting, so the little lap of glue that you might have over the edge, albeit it's very small on this one. She said to keep her edges straight. So yeah, I actually have a Hobbycraft card stuck into my cover paper holder that I will sometimes use if I feel that I need that straight edge before I start on a square. She said she started with a 2 placer, and once she got the hang of it, she moved on to a 3. She says she's now onto a 4 placer, and she's thinking of buying a 5 placer now. She said there definitely is a knack to it. She said that she's found doing all the 310s on her granddaughter's initials are a real breeze using the multi-placers. And yeah, Jackie has been doing an initial for each of her granddaughters that has a black background. And there's quite a few. And believe me, she is getting through them really, really well. And I'm sure that a multi-placer is definitely helping with that. And I think the multi-placer would help me with this 310. So if I get to diamond paint any more this evening, which we'll see because Lunar Snuggles come first, if I get to diamond paint this evening, I might make sure that I keep this pen with my diamonds, which is this month's launch as well, but I've popped a multi-placer 2-placer in this one. Maybe I'll be brave as well and get out a 3 or a 4, while I've definitely got such big blocks. Maybe we'll see how the 2-placer goes. Should start with the 2-placer before. Melissa, she said, happy belated birthday to Megan. She said she had a dreaded call Wednesday saying that there is a problem with the apartment. So she's not signing the contracts this week and moving. Oh no, I know you've been itching to move and get all your stuff out of storage. She said, fingers crossed that the delay isn't too long. Yeah, we'll cross them over here as well, Melissa. Hopefully it won't be too long for you and you can finally get settled. She says the black diamonds look amazing. She said she's looking for a 12-day crochet advent calendar to go alongside our 12-day calendar. As she's been crocheting because it's easier to do in the refuge. She said she's currently making herself a cardigan. She says she's never done anything like that before. She normally just makes blankets. She's even managed to make some bucket hats. Oh, honing your skills. She says we'll pop some pictures up on the Facebook group. She said, have a great week, she said, and she will be there for the launch of our 2023 journal. She said maybe the berry tray might also jump into her basket. You never know. They do have a habit of doing that, the trays. They have a habit of jumping into people's baskets, that's for sure. Lady Dax, she says she's really looking forward to the launch because red and green are her favourite colours. Well, I'm glad we could bring some that are slightly different to last year's, but kind of feel like they're very much Christmassy colours. She says she received her pre-order painting and her 12-day advent. She says P. Jelly whipped away the advent so she could add the bits that she's got to make it up to a 24 for her. She says, and she has to admit, she's also kitted up the diamond painting. She says she still wants to see my kitting up painting, as she had an moment when thinking about how and where to put the cover papers. Yes, I have been mulling that over for a while about where to put the cover papers in relation to the painting. I'm actually not sure whether I'm going to stick with the clear cover and just use the clear cover rather than the cover paper. And I think that's because it's a set 24. Though I do have some rolls of cover paper. I must have had it for at least a year, probably, if not more. Somebody posted it was available on Amazon.com, so it wasn't a UK thing, but somewhere did have a roll of cover paper rather than sheets. and I did pick one up, but I kind of feel like I might just cut the actual cover paper, the actual clear cover, and use that. So I just got 2 diamonds that were stuck together. We're not playing that game. You can't come as a twin set. Steph, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, hope you and the family are well, and what an amazing job you do. She says she's doing circles in space for the Diamond Art Studio event, and she's loving the colours. She says she's also got little quackers on the go too. Little quackers is so cute. Right, let me just get some more black. I have gone through a fair whack. So I like to tip a load in when I'm doing bulk, and then just knock my hand on the side and get all the ones that are the wrong way out of the way. And then I can deal with these, and then I do a reshake. She says, can you advise how I can keep my metal tip in the wooden pen that she got in the October launch? So yeah, sometimes the metal pen tips can fit differently according to the actual pen. So I think for this one, I actually had to take the little tiny O-rings off. But I have got a couple of pens where even with the O-rings on, they do seem a little looser. And I'm guessing it's just, whether it's the material or the size of the hole that they drill into it. But what I have done on the one that is looser is I've actually popped a glue dot on the end of it. Popped a glue dot on the end of the metal placer and then pushed it into the pen, and I found that that keeps hold of it. The other alternative, if you don't particularly want to do that, or you haven't got a glue dot to hand, you could try just wrapping a piece of washi tape around the part that goes into the pen, just to make it a little bit thicker, and then it will fit in a little bit snugger. So give those 2 a go. You may even find that you need to do both, but yeah, that should work. If not, I think I'm trying to think if the wooden pen came with a metal tip but inside the plastic top part. I can't remember. I think it did. But of course, for multi-placers and things like that, you would need to pop that glue dot in just to help. Amy, she says she hopes for no snow where she lives in Milton Keynes. She has car stair and stairs outside. She says, and with a 3-year-old and a nearly 4-year-old, as he has health issues, she has to use a buggy. Oh yes, buggies in the snow are not nice. That's buggy, pram, pushchair, stroller, I think they call it in the US. Trying to make sure I say enough names to cover so people know what we're talking about. Yeah, I much prefer the snow that comes, looks pretty, and then disappears again. Much nicer. Elisa, she says hi. She says, I'm new to diamond painting. Hello and welcome. Welcome to the clan. She says she'd like to thank me for my YouTube channel to help along with the tips and things for using cover paper, etc. Well, I'm glad I could help you, Elisa. I do have quite a lot of tips and tricks, of which I do need to finish off that series. It is on my to-do list. But I have over 50 tips already that are easiest way to find them is actually to go to my website. I have them listed with a little mini description of what each one is. But if you go to my website, addmorezest.com, which is down there, and linked in the description, there is a section called videos, and they are some of my highlights of my YouTube videos that are categorized a little bit better for you, so that you can you know, find the things that are tips and tricks. I also have a section in my videos that's for beginners that goes through a few different pointers for people that maybe have just started diamond painting. So be sure to check those out if you are enjoying the little tips and tricks, because they should help you. Anna says it's a great start on this diamond painting. It is. I'm still going with the black, but I'm getting there. And I know the next section, I think while it still has quite a chunk of black, next row, while it still has quite a chunk of black, it does have some of the variety. And then of course the further down I go, the more variety I get, which is why I've started at the top. This is a nice change from the Dreamers designs, that it was very, very much confetti. I feel like I'm getting a nice little blitz through. I've just not had too much time on it. This is now what, second WIP and Chats and one evening, and it wasn't even a full evening. I think I realised it was like 8 o'clock at night and I was still working. I was editing videos for my second channel and trying to get them all boxed off and finished, and I realised it was like 7:45, and I was like, what are you still doing this? So yeah, I made myself stop and got some diamond painting done. But yeah, it's getting there. It started. It's going to get more of my time mixed in with my mystery painting. So I'm sure by next week's WIP and Chats, it will be well in advance. Hopefully. Lotta, she says, hi. She says she's wondering where I purchased the boxes for my spare drills. She says she's been looking at Amazon and AliExpress and she can't find any. She says, do you know where I can order boxes online? She says, thank you, from Sweden. I've actually got mine from Hobbycraft UK. They may ship international. I know somebody abroad has been able to purchase from them, though I don't know if they're limited as to which countries they will ship to. But yeah, Hobbycraft online is where I got my boxes, but they are called photo boxes, and that may help you to search. They're made primarily for storing photographs. So have a quick search local to you for somewhere that will do a photo box, and you might find that you have more luck finding ones that suit. You can sort of adjust the measurements sometimes as well. Maybe search for something like a shoebox, which might be a little bit longer, but it might be similar. And then just see where you may need to adjust the measurements to be able to fit some rows into, you know, get the most out of your box possible. I know some people have used bigger boxes and popped in more rows. Some people have thicker or wider grip seal bags in theirs, and they've adjusted the rows to accommodate for the thicker bags. So there are ways that you can make a box that you can get hold of work for you. Amber, she said she was super excited because she was actually able to purchase our 12 Days of Christmas set. She said even though she spent a crazy amount on shipping, she's just happy that she got to order one. Yeah, sorry, it hits the bracket for what's classed as a small parcel for the Advent, or a medium parcel, but basically it hits the bracket to be a parcel for going abroad. and that does increase the cost. Whereas a lot of the accessories that we sell, we can get away with them being classed as a large letter. But yeah, this one tipped the bracket, so it tips the postage. Unfortunately, that's not necessarily in our favour, but it's still the cheaper way to send them via the Royal Mail Postal Service. It's only occasionally that is actually cheaper via courier, but that's normally when multiple items are sold and it hits 2 kilograms in weight. Then we tend to go via courier. We just try and find the cheapest option for you, basically, for it to be able to get there safely. There is a cheaper option, which is called economy shipping. However, that can take, they say that can take up to 12 weeks, which we don't find a reasonable compromise, because you need your stuff sooner. Fair Dust, she said she likes the colours on the trays for the November launch. She said she's hoping that her last order comes in soon. She also says happy birthday to Megan. Thank you. Billy, she said, so excited to see that you're working on I Choose You for the Diamond Art Studio November event. She says she purchased it, but she is currently doing poppy hair for the event. She said she had to work extra hours this week because some of the staff are off sick. So not a lot of time to diamond paint. Isn't that always the way? When you want to diamond paint, you can't always. Sorry, just had to go and answer the door. Where was I? Billy. So yeah, Billy said she's enjoying this whip and chat while she does get to diamond paint, and so glad, she said, that you and hubby are taking some time to do some fun stuff. Love the pen and the planner for the November launch. Received her email that her advent order has been sent. Said have a wonderful weekend and happy belated birthday to Megan. Thank you, Billy. Yeah, we had a lovely day at the Liverpool Museum of Liverpool, I think was the one that we went to. But yeah, we had a nice day. Actually really fascinated by the Egyptian section. My youngest daughter, Catherine, actually ended up coming with us. It's one of the museums she's not yet been to, and she is doing some Egyptian in her degree. So she was translating hieroglyphics for us, which was fun. Made it really, really interesting. Oh, just realised this cover sheet it's straight, but it's not as straight as it could be. Let's just nudge that over a little bit so I can get this edge. But yeah, it was nice to get out for the day, that's for sure. This weekend, because we're looking after Luna, of course, but the front garden is pretty much finished. I do feel like it needs some stuff to pretty it up now, though. Add a bit of green that doesn't need maintenance, maybe. So yeah, we're planning on just tidying up a few of the last blocks and stuff from the back garden, and maybe the weather's supposed to be dry this weekend, so maybe we will actually give the lawn another mow as well, the back lawn. Bed it in then for the winter, and we can ignore it again until my favourite season of spring. Juliet, she says she loved the WIP and Waffle. She says your painting looks amazing. She says you mentioned the orders are all shipped. She said yay. This is going to be fun for December. She said getting ready for winter for sure. Preparing for lots of snow just in case. Warm soup and hot cocoa from now on. Hugs from Utah. Yes, that's got to be a benefit, hasn't it? There are, there are some benefits. Snuggling up under a blanket in front of the TV, cozy nights in, are a little benefit of winter, but I still feel like I get a lot more done when it comes to spring, that's for sure. Knits for Sanity. She said multi-placing can be a lifesaver for a huge canvas with lots of colour blocking. She said, but it can depend on the canvas and how well the drills fit. She said, in my opinion, she said she would have loved to look at your trays when she placed her order when she got the notification that the advents were available again, but she wanted to be quick when she ordered as she wasn't missing out again. Yeah, there were some orders that came in pretty sharpish from the email going out. They did only last a couple of days, but we did just stick to the email notifications and tried to give people a chance to have read their email and acted upon it. But yeah, we try to overstock as much as we can without having stock for years. But yeah, they have all gone now. I'm glad you managed to get yours. Colleen said, hi Rebecca. She said, I wondered if you did see a turtle big one. She says she's working on one at the minute. She would love to see me do a big turtle one though. Is that just a picture of a turtle? I don't think I have any turtles in my stash, actually. I don't think that's something that I have in my collection. Is it a particular one that you're thinking of, Colleen? Have I unboxed one that maybe's not ended up staying in my stash? Do let me know and I'll have a look and see whether it's one that's been passed on in a mystery thing or something. Linda, she said, sometimes when we swelter in our humid, wet heat, she said she would love to be in the snow for a while. She said, and she sighs and sigh for the days when where I was living actually had 4 seasons. We always want what we've not got. Linda, I think that's always the thing. She says we each envy each other's circumstances sometimes. Yes, that is definitely for sure. We do envy what others have. And sometimes it can just depend on our mood as well, whether we can tolerate the weather that we've been given that day or that sort of season's weather. Sometimes we can just tolerate it a little bit more than we can on other days. There are days when it can just get extremely frustrating, I think. And you can just, want it to be different. Want it to be different. She says she's currently working on a canvas that is pretty annoying, she says, at the minute, as the drills keep popping. She said so she'll have to get out the Mod Podge to seal it when it's finished. Popping drills is so frustrating. I agree with you there. And I think it must be the canvas is printed slightly too small, more so than the size of the diamonds. Though some diamonds can be intermittent in their sizes, I do often think it's the canvas printed too small that causes more problems than we realise. Because it only takes a millimetre or so and it can just completely mess it up, can't it? Right, I'm going to see how far I can keep going compared to what questions I've got. So I may not get this section completed, but we'll see how many of I get done. She did say it's not the drills as such. She said it must be that the canvas print is minutely smaller than it should be. Yeah, I agree. She said, oh well, she says the adventure of diamond painting is that nothing is ever exactly the same. And really, we wouldn't want it to be. There is that. I mean, how many checks can be done on anything to ensure that they are, you know, as pristine as they can be? You're always going to find trash drills. You're always going to find paintings that are nicer to complete than others. Even sometimes from the same company, you're going to find paintings that are nicer to complete than others. But it does make us appreciate those ones that are perfection, that are beautiful and perfection. We do appreciate it when we are doing those, after experiencing some that maybe aren't as much. Nancy, she said, thank you, Rebecca. She says, I really enjoyed your WIP and Waffle today. She said she opened her December canvas when her daughter was over yesterday, and she said she loves it. She said she put everything carefully back in its box, and she will kit it up with me later in November. Oh, you are reining in that excitement level to be able to kit up at the same time as me. I get that some people do and some people don't. It's completely up to you when you do kit it up. But sometimes I do get that people enjoy kitting up at the same time, sort of while watching the video, or the most convenient time for them once the video is up. But yeah, I'm so excited to start that canvas. I really am. She said, as she's listened to me today, she said she's been trying to decide whether to kit up her Dreamers Designs winter fence, she said, which is Christmas themed. She said it's a large painting and it's a square, she said, which is fine, except that she's still plugging away on Quiet Cove, and she does prefer to only work on one large painting at a time. She has one or two small ones on the go at any given time as well. I get you. I mean, I did kit up this one before November because of the November event, and I did kit it up before I did my Dreamers Designs, before I'd finished it. However, even though I kitted it up earlier and I could have started placing diamonds on the 1st of November, I actually didn't place any diamonds on this until the WIP and Chat last week, which you guys will have seen, of course, because you're commenting on it. Me putting the diamonds on, and then I actually didn't touch it again until I'd finished my Dreamers Designs, because I too only really like one big one on the go. I can handle smaller ones, but sometimes I don't even touch those in between, or if I do, you know, I don't tend to do a switch often. So while I'm thinking of doing a switch often with my mystery painting, we'll have to see how it actually works out, because I may well find that I work on this one solidly for a week and then actually work solidly on my mystery until it's done, and then go back to this one. We'll have to see, because I am itching to finish the mystery one, partly because it will just get it de-kitted and done in 2022 rather than it carrying over until 2023. So we will have to see. Just tip in some more black out, trying not to lose my piece of dryer sheets, because I could do with that. So yeah, as much as I'd love to say kit it up, I think I'd be on the basis of not kitting it up. Unless the Quiet Cove that you're doing is actually a frustrating canvas, or you're not enjoying it, in which case kit up your Dreamers designs, but then make yourself do a small part of Quiet Cove, whether it be at the beginning of the week or whether it be at the beginning of each time you diamond paint, which will depend on how much time you get to diamond paint. So say you got to diamond paint only for an hour each day, then I would say your first day of the week, do a section of Quiet Cove and then switch to your Dreamers designs. If you get, say, 3 hours each evening to diamond paint, then maybe do half an hour to an hour or a section of Quiet Cove and then move on to your other one. That's the only time I tend to have a couple on the go, is if one is frustrating me for whatever reason. Like popping drills or something like that, then I try to give myself, you know, if I still want to finish it, I give myself the not so nice one first, followed by the nice one, so that you end the evening on a good note. She said she laughed about the making the bed conversation. She said she makes her bed every day without fail, as she cannot get into an unmade bed. She said she too has been trying to multi-place. She's using a 4-placer. That does seem to be one of the most popular multi-placers. She says she finds that it's taking a lot of practice. She says, good luck to you. She's sure that I will be multi-placing in no time. I'm sure once I dedicate some time to it, I will be able to get it and probably really enjoy it, the jigsaw aspect of it. She said, P.S. we had a beautiful weather day yesterday and she was able to put her laundry out on the line. Oh, I can't wait for the days I can put the washing out on the line again. I really do miss being able to put washing out on the line, I must say. Grey Legrand, she said she checked her email too late for the restock of the Advent. Oh, I am sorry. She says, but that's okay, since she had previously decided to work on 2 paint gem kits. She's going to work on the Christmas and the floral editions. She bought a case with 120 pots, so she plans to have both projects in the same single case. She said the case is a plain black with a purple zipper, and she says she'll need to figure out a way to bling it up. I really enjoyed working on the Paint Gem Minis over June. There is something very satisfying about completing a painting a day. So yeah, I don't necessarily think it is a bad thing to do the Paint Gem Minis as a sort of one a day type deal. It just gets you that little bit of diamond painting, and you also get that satisfaction of actually completing one as well, rather than waiting until the end. Bella, she said she knows there are a few diamond painting retreats in the States. She says, but she doesn't know where to go finding information for them. So yeah, if you're interested in retreats, maybe have a look, see if there's a Facebook group for them, or maybe a website for them. I guess it depends on who runs them, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there are ones in quite a few different places. It's just a matter of going on a little search for them to see if you can find them, and if not, do your own. Kathy, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, thanks for the WIP and Waffle. I do keep losing the odd black diamond, and they're all catching themselves in the roll of the canvas at the bottom. I'll fish them out later. She says she is curious about the postal strikes. She says, what is their purpose and do they accomplish anything positive? I think the strikes are in relation to pay and or job roles. I'm not exactly sure what specific thing the strikes are over. I think it is over pay. But what the actual basis behind it is I don't quite know, which is why I don't form an opinion on whether these strikes should or shouldn't happen, because I don't know enough. I don't work for Royal Mail, so I don't know what the job entails. And as much as I could read and say, oh yeah, they want this much pay, without knowing what the job entails, you don't know whether, you know, they're actually fighting for a cause that is good or not. I only go on the basis that, you know, if there is enough people in the union that are fighting for something, and there is enough people doing the strikes because they're fighting for it, then there must be enough people that are in that area or in that job role that believe it's a true cause. So that's all I can go on the basis of, and just do my best to work around them. They have called off most of the strikes that were at the beginning of November, which I must say I personally was quite happy about. But that's because the day the diamond paintings arrived with us, for me to ship out the pre-orders, was the beginning of like 2 or 3 strike days in a row, which would have meant I could have, you know, packed orders but not actually shipped them out and sent them out the house and sent them on their way. So I was quite happy that they did cancel that batch of strikes, and that was just purely from, you know, a personal selfish basis that I wanted pre-orders to be on their way. I wanted them to start being able to reach people, or at least start their journey to reach people as soon as possible, so that everybody can hopefully get them all, of course in time for kitting up, but if not, at least in time for the beginning of December. Because I did wonder on the remaining stock that we had left of the 12 days and the diamond paintings. I did question for a short period of time whether to release the rest of them on release date for the trays on the November release, so that people could order everything together. But if I'd have done that, that would have been a week of them not being able to start making their way. And because some international deliveries can take longer than others, I thought it was a week we can't afford to lose, really. So they needed to start making their journey ASAP. She says she's also excited about the November and December diamond painting that's going on. She has a few paintings that she is thinking about doing. Plus, she said her birthday is this week, and she gets to choose some new paintings. Woohoo! Happy birthday, Kathy, for last week. I hope you had an amazing day and got all the diamond paintings that you do want. I've actually added quite a few diamond paintings to my stash recently. I've got quite a few more that will be added this month, and it is exciting. It is so exciting to add all of them to my stash, and yeah, it builds up my excitement when I come to finish a painting and start kitting up a new one. It often makes me, you know, even more excited for the prospect of kitting up a new one, because yeah, I do enjoy the kitting up, the kitting down. I enjoy the doing, and I enjoy the finishing. Right, I've just got a couple of pieces of trash in my tray. One is like a sliver, and one was a diamond painting with a few drill with a few little holes in it. So clear those out my tray. How many? Oh, we don't have too many more comments, questions, so let's see how many I can get through before I class this bit as done. In fact, let's just tip the rest of my black out. Let's see how far I go, and then I might have hit the end of the questions, or I might end up just filling in some of these little gaps with these little ABs, etc. Debbie, she said, hi Rebecca. She said, great WIP and Waffle. She said she can't wait for her diamond painting and her 12-day advent. She said she got bored on the 7th of November, so she put her Christmas tree up, and decorations go up on the 8th of November. Wow. I am in no way ready for Christmas decorations yet. No way for Christmas decorations. Can't really say that I've done any particular Christmas shopping either. I do have a couple of bits for the kids for Christmas, but that is more when they have seen something and actually just, you know, asked me to pay instead of them. And it's become a Christmas present. Apart from that, I am in no way ready. Oh, actually, no, I tell a porky because I forgot. When we went to the museum last Sunday, when we went to Liverpool Museum, we did stop and have a bite to eat at Frankie and Benny's on the way home, or just before we left. We stopped there, and Catherine did want to nip into the Works on the retail park, which is like a book and craft and all sorts of bits place shop in the UK. And I did end up picking up a couple of little silly toy bits for the kids' stockings, and I did pick up a Wasgidge jigsaw, a Christmas themed one. I actually have a few Wasgidges, which is basically jigsaw backwards, but Wasgidge, I love those jigsaws. I don't think I could do a normal jigsaw anymore. So often with Wasgidge, there's a few different series of them, but with the Christmas one, you have a picture on the front, but the picture that you do your jigsaw of is actually what a person is looking at. So if you imagine a square room, you see the view to this side, but actually the jigsaw you do is the view to this side. So basically you don't have a picture. You have to sort of figure it out. They do some others that are like Back to the Future. So you see an image and they say, what does this area, or what does this place, what did it look like 40 years ago, or however many years ago? Yeah, they do a few different variants of them, but I find them so much more fun than a normal jigsaw. So yeah, we picked up a Christmas Wasgidge that hopefully we will have some time to do over the Christmas period. We shall see. Hopefully we'll just be able to set it up on the table when Catherine comes home from uni, and we can all have a go at various times and get a bit done. But yeah, I'm in no way ready for a tree yet. I have no idea what Luna's going to be like with a tree either, or even where it's going to go, because I think her crate takes the space where a tree would potentially be able to go. So I need to have a think about where I can put a tree, or indeed what sort of size tree that we go for this year. I might need to put some thought into that soon, actually, to have hope. We normally get a real tree. Maybe we'll just get a smaller one that can go on a table. KS said her package arrived today. She said she thinks it was today. She said her post person has been quite mysterious, leaving a package and then quietly leaving. Oh, so they've just sort of, it could have been today, but they could have sneakily put it there yesterday. She said she had a moment of unease when she noticed a hole in the front about the size of her hand. She said her tray was the first thought that came to mind. She said, but you wrapped everything so well that all was present and accounted for. Awesome. We do try our best to take into account the beating that parcels can take. She said she's so impressed with the tray design. She said it's so comfortable to hold. And the design detail, she said, that you will just not find elsewhere. Oh, thank you. I love our trays. I think I say that every time somebody compliments our trays, but I do. I love our trays. I don't think I could work with anything else. She said she's so excited for December. Yeah, there's me. Not even thought about my tree yet, how I'm going to put the tree up, sorting out the rest of the Christmas presents. But I have thought about starting my Advent. I'm definitely excited about that. I can't wait. Craft therapy with Amanda. She said, hey there. She said she hasn't been commenting much lately. She said she just wanted to let me know that she's still watching. And loving every bit. She said it helps me to relax. Oh, thank you, Amanda. Well, if you need to chill and not comment, then by all means, you do you. It's nice to see comments, but at the same point, it's not for everybody. She says she's going to order the advent calendar and diamond painting, she said, for the December event. She said she was putting it in, she put it in her cart, and she said she was looking at some other stuff. She said by the time she hit to go, she said it was gone. She said didn't even think it was 10 minutes. Yes, October, the first launch for October did fly. The 24-day advent calendar actually sold out in 2 minutes. My brain is already thinking of multiple things for next year's Advent, and also things that, you know, of course will be different to this year's Advent. And yeah, I'm already thinking of multiple different things that we could potentially make work for next year's, and we are, you know, thinking of quantities much higher than what this year's was, even with all the pre-orders 12 days. We are looking at, in effect, overstocking potentially for next year. But yeah, brain's working. She said, tell Megan I said happy birthday and hope she had a great day, and she hopes hope you and your family had a great day. Thank you, Amanda. We did, yes. Rena, she says hi. She says, can you tell me where you got your big pegs from on your wooden stand? So by that, I guess you mean these big clips. Oh, very clippy. Try and make my diamond painting stay in place. These were from DIY Choose, is where I originally got them from. I'm not sure if they still have them on their site. They may do. I think somebody did say they were still there. My original link doesn't work anymore, so they could have just renamed it or moved it or changed something on it to stop my link working. But you can also search for towel clips. I think that's basically what they are, is they are towel clips for like beach towels and things, to make them not blow away in the wind. So you could search for those and find yourself some on, you know, Amazon or wherever is local to you. Depends on the season how readily available there will be, but I'm sure there will be some places that still have it in stock. Right, I have one more comment. So I am actually going to pop this black away, and I'm going to do my little bit of my white ABs while I answer this last comment. Let me get my sparkles. I don't need many of them. Don't need to tip out as many as I have done for black. But Lexi, she said she has just got her 12-day Advent and diamond painting. She said she's surprised how quickly it got to the US. She said she's already opened the Advent and she is so happy. She says thank you for all that you do. Oh, I am glad. I must say postage to America has been rather quick recently. I know there is still a few that are stuck in customs. I want to say California. Maybe it's not. I know there are a few that seem to be taking their sweet time. Okay, that doesn't... It has an AB coating on this, but it doesn't seem to be as much as on the others. So I'm just going to switch it out for more sparkle, because more sparkle's pretty. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be as slow as it can be, which I'm really grateful for, especially with this launch, because it is something that is starting at a certain time. I much prefer things to just, you know, just be there. I know it's temptation for longer, and I know that can be frustrating for some people. But I would much rather it be in your hands than either in mine, or even worse, in the postal system, supposedly working its way to you. I'd much rather you have it and you can relax. Okay, I'm not doing very well at fishing out a couple of these, so I'm just going to pop them in the lid. I did this last night with my ABs and it actually worked really well. It's amazing when you give them a shake how you can quite often get them to go the right way up. But if dipping my pen in doesn't work, then that tends to. So yeah, I'm glad you've got it and it's all safe, and hopefully everybody else's will turn up really soon and everybody can start getting as excited as me to actually get up the Advent. But there we go. I'm going to call... Oh, wrong way. I'm going to call that done for today. Oh, look, I'm very nearly across that top row though. I got a few different colourings in here, and I've got quite a few ABs dotted in, and I've just realised I missed a H there. Should have known that would happen, because that was a very random one on its own. It will make sense further down, I'm sure. Okay, it's in. So I've got a bit more black to do here, and then we'll see how far I can get across on my next row. But I'm sure we will start seeing some colour in the next WIP Chats. But thank you all so much for your comments, queries, all the rest. Oh, I must have missed a comment. I've just hit refresh and I've just realised I missed one because it was actually 4 days ago. So Roz, she says she's excited. She did manage to get a square advent calendar. She said plus her first venture into metal holders, which she ordered from me. She said she can't wait to start the advent with you. She said especially as they're moving house. So she'll need an hour or two to decompress. Yes, you definitely will. I would dread moving out of this house. I would dread packing up one room in this house, never mind the whole lot. But yeah, hopefully you will be able to, you know, do your diamond painting as you decompress, as you move. And I hope everything goes as smoothly as possible for you. But yeah, sorry. All comments have now been answered up to the point that I filmed this, but thank you all so much for joining me and sticking with me while I completed even more black with a little bit of sparkle, but most of the bulk black is done now, I hope. There's a few more sections that I should get done throughout this week, and we can get on to the rest of this exciting design. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.